What up, YouTube? This is Taboo Lexicon. I want to thank you for watching. Today I'm going to be talking about identity, and most specifically, I want to talk about what is the source of your identity. Now, people get their identity from a lot of different places. Some people get it primarily from the type of clothes they wear, how much money they have, the kind of car they drive, what school they go to. There's all kinds of places that people get their identity from. And I want to tell you a story today about my friend Jack and how Jack's source of his identity disappeared over the course of a couple of days and led to his near personal ruin and the near ruin of his family. So Jack grew up in a neighborhood as a white kid that had a high minority population. So he went to a school that had a high minority population. Well, Jack made it on the football team, and he was the only white guy on the all-black football team. So Jack's identity in high school that he adopted was the funny white kid on the all-black football team. And that was Jack throughout high school. Well, once Jack graduated high school, he got a job with a bank, and he started in mortgage lending, which was really great for Jack and really great for his family because nobody in his family had ever had a job like this before. It was white collar. He was well suited for it, and he was successful in it, and he made a lot of money. So Jack adopted his career as the source of his identity, right? When you would meet Jack for the first time, he would introduce himself. He would say, "Hey, my name's Jack. I'm a mortgage lender with so-and-so bank." Well, 2008 rolls around. The housing market explodes or implodes, and nobody's borrowing money to buy houses anymore, which means Jack gets laid off. So all of a sudden, Jack goes from being the funny white kid on the all-black football team to being Jack the mortgage lender with so-and-so bank to being Jack the nobody. And he tells a story like this. He didn't know who he was anymore because for the last 8 years he had been one of these people, and he didn't have his identity rooted in a firm foundation. So he finally gets a job because he's got a wife and he's got a daughter. He really wants to support his family. He gets a job that he hates, but he works it anyway because he loves his family and he wants to provide for them. But he's sitting there wondering, how do people do this job every day, day in and day out for years, because it's so miserable? Well, Jack gets his answer one day when one of his coworkers offers him a pain pill. Well, Jack accepted. He took the pill, and it wasn't long after that, and Jack felt like Jack again. He had peace, he had joy, he had contentment. He was happy until the pill wore off. And you guys know how this story goes. One pill turns into 2 pills, turns into a lot of pills, and eventually Jack was supplementing his pill addiction with cocaine. Jack had almost hit rock bottom. Well, one night, Jack's wife was looking at his cell phone and saw a text message from his dealer. And she didn't know anything about this. So she started looking through his text message history, and she realized that her husband had a serious problem. Well, she did what any good second half would do, and she kicked him out of the house. She said, "You can't be around me, you can't be around your daughter while you're addicted to drugs." Well, the good news is Jack looked for help, okay? He got help. He got into a really good rehab facility, and he recommitted his life to Christ. He refocused his life. And when he tells the story, he'll tell you that instead of rooting his identity in the job he had or who he was in high school, he rooted his identity in who God is and who God says he is. And that's what he attributes to success, the longevity of his success in being clean, and why he thinks this is going to be a sustainable solution for him, because he roots it in something eternal. So that's Jack's story. Right now I want to share with you a few verses from the Bible that tell you, if you're a believer, this is who you are. And with these verses, I'm not going to do a commentary on each verse like I would in my morning word series. I just want to put the verses out there, and I want to encourage you to digest them, take them in, meditate on them, and ask God to reveal to you how these apply to your life and how you can take them and apply them to your daily life every single day in your interactions with other people. The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 15 says, "For you have not received a spirit of slavery, leading to fear again, but you have received a spirit of adoption as sons, by which we cry out, Abba, Father." In the book of Galatians, Paul writes in verse 6 and 7, "Because you are sons, God has sent forth the Spirit of His Son into our hearts, crying, Abba, Father. Therefore you are no longer a slave, but a son, and if you are a son, then you are an heir through God." Finally, we look at 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 9 and 10, and they read, "But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of Him who has called you out of darkness and into His marvelous light. For you were once not a people, but now you are the people of God. You had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy." So I want to encourage you guys to take these verses and really ask yourself, what is the source of my identity? Is it rooted in something that is temporary, that will pass away in this world? Or is my identity rooted in something that is eternal? Take these verses and meditate on them. Ask God to show you something new. That's it for me, guys. I want to thank the wonderful people from Sakred.net for letting me post this on their channel. My prayer for you today comes from Ephesians. I pray that the spirit of wisdom and revelation would rest on you so you could know God better. Be blessed. Be encouraged. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.